Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to Saeed TV. This is the Straightjacket podcast. You know the score. Straightjacket podcast 238, man. We're close to nearly 250 now, which is mad, people. So big up to everybody who supports the channel. We're here Monday, you know what I mean? Live and kicking. We got the brothers in the building. Man like Nuruddin's in the building. What you saying, Nuruddin? You good?
Yeah, man. Good.
Yeah.
The weather is a bit like Man United, mate. Everybody's getting giddy, mate, because we signed a goalkeeper, man. Honestly, surreal.
Yeah.
Surreal.
Listen, we're gonna. You know what it is, yeah. I want to talk to you about that, but then there's also people that come at me today. The toxic positive crew have come at me today, so we've got to talk about that one as well. But I hope you're well, and we got a man like Brian in Belgium. I think you might have a heat wave because we don't have a heat wave over here. So enjoy. Are you enjoying the heat wave?
Nah, I'm not really. It's a bit too hot. Like I was telling that before the show as well. It's like when it's hot in countries like Belgium, like it suffocates you. You can't breathe. There's no breeze. There's nothing that really cools you off in
Yeah.
it. So, like when you go like countries like Africa or like even like Turkey, it's like it cools you off. It's not too hot. It's not suffocating. You're not sweating all the time in it. So, but it's better than
Yeah,
rain.
man.
I was in Manchester and the rain was. But I like the thing is when I'm in England, I accept that it's gonna rain. I accept it, so it's not really a problem. I just know it's gonna
Especially in
rain.
Manchester.
Yeah, Manchester's
You've definitely
crazy.
got to accept it in Manchester. You know what I mean? But you know what, though, man? Just to sell that on that, man. Climate change is real, people, man. The heat wave and the situations around the world, man. Like, seriously, guys, climate change is real, man. So, you know what I mean? Shout out to everybody in the world, you know what I mean? And just in general, man, anyone suffering out there through fires and whatnot and storms, you know, our hearts go out to you, man. So, you know what I mean? Solidarity with the people, man. Absolutely. It's crazy, man. The rain, the lack of rain, I think is it. I think there's a drought somewhere in Iraq or something like that I'm hearing as well. So, listen, man, solidarity with everyone around the world and just in general, man. The environment, you got to look after the environment, people, man. That's a big thing, yo. So, you know what I mean? Solidarity to everyone around the world, man. But listen, man, we got a lot to crack on, people. And please do smash the like button on the video. If you're watching right now and you haven't done it, 400 people already here. Hit that like button. That should be a common thing as soon as you enter the building. But let's touch on the Maguire situation. We got some breaking news before. West Ham have had a loan offer for Harry Maguire rejected from Manchester United. You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Yeah, I don't know how much we're gonna get out of him, but the fact that West Ham are testing it with a loan offer to start off with probably tells you everything you need to know. Like they don't really value him at a high level. Nuruddin, like let's be honest, they don't really value him highly. That's why they're testing him. Like, how can you test a guy who's gone for 85 million with a loan offer? Like, it's crazy, man. But Nuruddin, what you saying, man? Like a lot of people are conflicted. They want 50, people want 30, people want 40. What are you saying, Nuruddin? How do we resolve the situation with Maguire?
Yeah, that's jokes, man. I don't believe that tweet. I don't believe that journalist, whoever they are. I don't believe it. I
It's from the
refuse to
Guardian. They're
believe
quite
it.
reliable, to be fair. Jacob Steinberg has got a lot of things right in the world of transfer news. So I'm not gonna lie to you, he's quite reliable in terms of transfer news. But like I said to you, United don't want to sell. They don't want to loan him out. They want to sell him, man. They want money.
Yeah.
So it does make sense in a way. You get
No,
it?
100%.
You broke
But the
yeah.
idea that it's for a
Yeah.
loan is ridiculous. Listen, 40 million. Actually, you know what? You got that price money in it now, West Ham. I mean, I've done it.
Yeah.
I've added on United Real Therapy. It's the 3 M's, mate. They call it the match made in heaven. Moyes, Maguire, McTominay. Hey, what have it? We've got to advise the club. It's taking little old me who lives in Hume, originally from the Moss, to advise the club. He's perfect at West Ham, but I don't know about a loan. He's perfect. He's a low block kind of defender. So is McTominay, low block midfield player. Number 8, box to box, will do it for you. No problem. David Moyes, match made in heaven. Maguire, David Moyes, McTominay, match made in heaven.
You know what though? They're not using the money wisely because today they tried to make a bid for Paulinho. He got rejected, by the way. 40 million. It's not even 45. It's actually 40 million. They tried to bid for Paulinho. Do they even know who Paulinho is? Like, seriously. Like this guy had an unbelievable season. He, for me, Paulinho. When you look at the market right now, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's at least 70 to 80 million in the market right now for Paulinho in the Premier League. You're gonna have to spend that money, especially when you fleeced Arsenal 105 million for a guy with 1 year left on his contract. You know what I mean? And you basically said he's worth 105 million. For you then to bid 40 million or 45 million, that's crazy. Like, who do West Ham think they are? Like seriously, are they all right? Like, Paulinho.
I'll say this. Actually, Paulinho is better than Rice, me personally. He was the best midfield player in the Premier League last season. That's just me personally. So
You know what?
they tried to
Nobody's
bid
gonna
for a
argue.
man, for that man, 40 million when they got 100 million for. Oh, nah, mate, it's not happening. But anyway, it is what it is. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, Brian, man, what are you saying, man? How do we resolve this? Because obviously, you know what I mean? Maguire, he lost the captaincy yesterday.
Mhm.
He's obviously a bit emotional, so he's got the PR statements ready. And, you know what I mean? Everyone's a bit emotional on the timeline, feeling sorry for him, which is understandable because he's got a lot of hate and you don't want to see players getting hate. But I just feel like the kind of statements that come along with it every single time, it's a bit too much. But Brian, what do you kind of, how do you resolve this? Because at the end of the day, like I said, we always going back and forth with price tags and whatnot, but I don't know, man. I'm just kind of like, yo, man. Every day, my price tag keep getting lower and lower. I started off at 40 million. Now I'm willing to go down as far as 25, 30 million.
25.
25,
Nah,
30 million, man.
that's that. I think for around 40, 45 million is perfect for Harry Maguire. I think you just have to do it the same way as we are trying to get transfers in. Is that's doing add-ons. So every time he's picked by England, that's another 5 million that comes on until he reaches a certain amount of
Wages,
cap extra.
wages. You know
Yeah,
why? You know why Dean Henderson isn't going? You know why Dean Henderson's going up for 20 million? Because he's on 120 grand a week. You have to
yeah,
consider wages as a factor. He's on
yeah.
200 grand a week, Brian. So consider wages when you're thinking about 45 million. That's all I'm saying to you. That's why you can't get for 45 million.
Now it makes sense. It makes sense, but I think we just need to try our best to offload these type of players because we need more breathing space to get more to get better players and to get more players. But yeah, I would just try to do add-ons as well. Just try to do add-ons, see if we can, and if you get a little Europa League qualification again, that we get an extra 5 mil. But maybe bring it down the base sum that you're gonna get from him, and then maybe just rise in add-ons whenever possible. But yeah, like you said, the wage is gonna be a problem. The player willing to move or not to move is gonna be a problem because we always hear two things at the same time. We hear that he wants to stay, now he doesn't want to stay. So it's always a bit,
Mm.
always have to be a bit skeptical in this type of situations, and then just see what we can get from him. But as long as he leaves, because I don't think there's any more space for him, especially after him losing his captain's armband. I think he finally realized that it's time for him to go. But he should have known
Yo,
after last season, anyways.
but he could be shameless though, man. Them like we're
He could
looking at a
be.
guy who's still shameless to say, you know what, I still play for Man United. Like, you know, I still play for the Champions League football. Like, you guys have got to remember, this guy's shameless. This guy is the same guy that went on Instagram and showed his stats. Like, who does that as a footballer? Like, let's be honest. Who puts their stats? Because if you play well and you're a footballer, you should let the football do the talking. But for you to go online and social media, like, this is a guy who again, like I said to you, there's no shame in staying. Like, so for people to say he should then move on, will he though? Like, that's the bottom line though, Nurdin. I don't think he has an ounce of feeling. Like, he still plays for Man United. We're in the Champions League. There might be an injury crisis. He might then play, and then he builds his confidence again. So he'll, you know what I mean? Again, yeah, he showed his highlight of real passes. Like, that's what they do.
Yeah, it's listen, I put the tweet out in it when after the news broke that Harry Maguire stripped out the captaincy, and then I look at his statement, he's devastated, and I'm like, where have you been, lad? Listen, there is level of shamelessness and there's a level of delusion, but there's that level. He's devastated. Listen, you played more games for England than you did for Manchester United. A left back played centre half more than you did. Let's be real. When are you gonna wake up and smell the coffee? You know how, like, now and again, you know what, you been out with that girl in it and she's like, I'm not interested.
Yeah, but he keeps
You're
trying.
that guy.
He
You're
keeps
that guy.
trying.
Listen, you're that guy carrying the guitar, mate, singing along to her while she's on her way to work.
Oh my
You're the
God,
guy
man.
that's taking a week off work, singing along to her to say, "Please have me back, take me back." Listen,
Take me back, you know.
listen, it's ridiculous, isn't it? It's ridiculous. At the end of the day, like I've never seen more of a PR. And like, when is it? This is what it shows you about this football club. When is a player losing a captaincy merited a club statement?
Bro,
Never.
I said it yesterday, and everyone said to me, "What? Why are you being negative?" You know what I mean? It's just a statement. I said, "Bro, like who does that? Like no other club runs like that, man. It happens naturally. It's all done behind closed doors. Like everything about Man United is about PR, man, and how it kind of the image of Man United, how it looks. I just thought I felt like for me yesterday, I was like, did it need really to be a long statement like that? But people said it would stop the negativity that surrounds him. But I think the club or the fans just want him gone from the football club. They want him sold more than anything. I feel like people were more disappointed by the fact that, you know what, that statement was to say that he's wants to fight, still fight for his place and etc. etc. rather than him leaving. I think people are a bit more disappointed. I get it, it's to stop maybe the hate and whatnot, but at
No,
the
what
same
hate?
time, not everything needs a statement.
Listen,
But it,
listen, he's only got the hate because of his ludicrous statements. And
Mm.
like you said, sharing stuff when he's been horrendous and him coming out with statements saying, "Oh, I don't need to prove to anybody." Like you are literally saying this stuff. Listen, I don't, you know me, I don't condone any hatred,
no,
anything
absolutely
towards
not.
any
Yeah,
footballers. Nobody
100%
here
not.
is condoning that. Nobody. Hatred against the Glazers, I'm all here for because they've ruined the
Yeah, yeah,
football
yeah,
club,
yeah,
right?
definitely,
But in
definitely,
terms of the players,
definitely.
I don't, because Harry Maguire didn't buy himself. He didn't give himself the captaincy. He didn't give himself a 7-year contract. He didn't give himself the wages. The club
No.
did, right? But now, I said the tweet. It will tell me a lot about Harry Maguire, more about who he is as a player, if he sticks around. Because
But has it
you
got not past
can't
that though,
get
Nordin?
you
Has it
can't
not
get
gone
any more
past that though?
blatant. You can't get any more blatant. I'll never forget last season away at Nottingham Forest. Anthony scores. All the players are running to him to
Oh yeah,
celebrate.
yeah, yeah.
He
I
looks
know.
up,
Anthony. Yeah, his
looks at Maguire
reaction wasn't great.
like what are you doing?
Who are
Get off
you,
me.
mate? Who are you? Who are
Like
you? Trying to take
like
it all. Yeah.
honestly, it's that craziness. So he knows nobody's about him, and then the PR still continues. He's well respected in the dressing room. Why are you saying it if he is? Why do you need to say it? Because he
But,
isn't.
but
He's
it
not
was
respected. Nobody's asked about him, right? You see the camaraderie between the Latin American players,
yeah.
the Portuguese speaking players, the Spanish. De Gea is a big of a miss as a character in this football club than Harry Maguire will ever be. I'm sorry to say this, people.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
well,
sorry to say
that's
this.
a fact. I don't think
Right,
that there's a disagreement in that one. You know
right.
what I mean? So
That squad will be more devastated with David De Gea, what David De Gea was. But we know he's not good enough. He's not being good enough, David De Gea, right?
yeah,
So we needed to change
yeah.
the goalkeeper.
We need to
Now,
move on. Yeah.
yeah, we need to move on. Footballers moved on. But the fact that Harry Maguire, like journalists, have to go on do the PR with him. You know who runs his PR? It's that firm that run the charity game. You know the charity
Mm.
game, at the end of the season.
Yeah,
Live
yeah,
Aid,
yeah, yeah.
what's it called? Whatever it's called. That football game where you've got people like Chunks and that playing. What's that
soccer.
game called?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Live,
Soccer aid,
Soccer
soccer
Aid.
aid,
Soccer aid,
Soccer
yeah.
Aid. And you know him, his actual personal agent, personally, is the man that's ringing up Troy Deeney. After
Yeah,
Deeney was
that's
like,
true.
hey, stop the pile on Pogba. Where's the captain in this? He's the Manchester United captain. He should be stepping up when United are getting bad results. And then he's
Yeah.
ringing him saying, why are you talking about my player? Like, it's shameless all around. Manchester United is shameless. Harry Maguire is shameless. The whole thing has become shameless. Listen, Harry Maguire is a decent defender. The
Defender.
most
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was ever worth was 30 million to Manchester United. Manchester United, the club that they are, Edward would be the absolute muppet he is.
Yeah.
A banker playing football manager. He slammed 80
Yeah.
million on them. And Leicester are still laughing. They're still laughing to the bank. They're still like,
Mm.
we've gone down, but we don't care. We got 80 million. There'll be a documentary made about that
They
signing.
still got that
For
money.
that amount
They
of
still
money.
got that money
Right?
left.
Listen, so the fact that
Yeah.
that Harry Maguire can play for any team that plays mid to low block, he'll be a good defender for them. Very good defender for them. Mid to low block, get everybody behind the ball. He'll head the balls away for you. He'll go out there. He'll do what needs to be done. But the idea that he's this guy, I said it from day one. And who the hell am I? It's on this channel. It's on this podcast. I said it from day dot.
I think it's podcast 34. 34, 35. I think it is
Go
something
on,
like that.
I said
Go
it.
and look
And
at
who
the
the hell am
podcast.
I?
Yeah, you did say it from day one. I'll have to get that clip for you, and then you'll have to put it out there on Twitter, and then you'll be like, yeah. But yeah, go on, Brian. You were gonna say something there.
Now, just to close off the whole thing about him putting out a statement. It was weird that he put out a statement before the club as well. Like I was so confused when I saw an official statement about Man United passing on the captaincy, that he was the first one that came out on his own profile to say, "I'm gonna pass on the band." We've seen it like a few weeks earlier with Royce, that he gave up his band at Dortmund as well, but it was more like of a club statement, and it was different. I found it very confusing, and I don't know why the club even allows it for him to go out first, and then the statement from the club itself, like, "Oh, thanking a player who's actually still at the club for his services while he's not gone." So it's a bit of a double statement at Man United. It seems like a lot of people felt like that was also a signal of him leaving the club maybe in the future. But the whole thing is just a mess. Like I can never understand when a player is before, like when we get new transfers, not the player saying first, "Oh, I'm signed for Man United." No, it's first the club that says it, and then the player will follow. So that was a bit confusing for me in that situation.
Yeah, I've actually got the podcast say it's actually podcast 20, and guess what the title was? Harry Maguire, the English Beckenbauer. That's the title of the video. And yeah, if you want to watch it, guys.
Saeed, I promise you, I take no great pleasure in any of it because we were run by an absolute muppet, Ed Woodward, right? He was the guy that was making the calls. He's the guy that was making decisions. So I take no pleasure. I wish Harry Maguire made me eat my words. We'll come on to Onana. I hope Onana stuffs. I'll come on here.
Yeah. What is it with Onana? Let me. Why have you got an agenda against Onana? Like,
He's
not
wrong. He's not wrong.
Why is he not wrong? I don't understand. He's a modern day keeper.
No,
he's
but
been
you're
on the
Champions League final. Trust me, you're gas of the Champions League final.
No.
A lot of people.
I've been watching him for a while. I've been watching. No. I get that because obviously he had a good performance. But Onana, for me, I'm not gonna lie to you, is it probably a better match than Costa? Because he's worked under the manager. That's one thing as well. He knows his style. Does Costa know his style? Does Costa know the way that Ten Hag wants? No, that is then a disadvantage.
Yes,
than
he does.
Onana.
It's got, you know what, Saeed? Breaking news to you. It's called modern way of goalkeeping. Costa knows modern way of goalkeeping.
I get that, but then we've got a bigger advantage in Onana. Onana knows what the manager wants. And I'd rather have something that I know than I don't know.
Is this not something that we complained about a few weeks ago, saying that he's only signing players that he already knows?
For a keeper. No, but hold on a minute. But again, there's certain positions that you have to be careful with, yeah. And a keeper. Do you mess around with a keeper, yes or no?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Onana is a big question mark.
Go on.
He's a
big question mark.
No, because from throughout the years I've seen him, yeah, he's unreliable on high balls. So it's the same little bit like the guy. He comes out. He actually comes out, but he goes underneath the ball a lot of times. I think Costa, we only have that one situation in the World Cup.
No, there was a couple, man. There was a couple.
But yeah, it was more the World Cup. I was trying to say throughout his whole thing, even when you watch him in the Champions League, he wasn't really that unreliable as Onana. Onana's a good footballing goalkeeper, but then
how many errors Onana's got leading to goals? Ask me the question.
I don't look
at errors Onana got leading to goals.
I don't look at stats. It's not always about.
But for this one, you're just saying here, Onana. Yeah, there's a lot of errors when he's catching the ball. Tell me how many Onana errors leading to goal last season he's got.
I don't know.
I'll tell you right now.
He played half a season.
0.
But he played half a season. He didn't start the first half of the season.
So what do you want him to do? If he's not there, then
no,
he's there.
I'm not saying he's a bad goalkeeper, but I'm saying the way everyone is gassing up someone that just performed well in the Champions League final is a bit too much for me, because I've been seeing him from Holland to Inter Milan and for Cameroon. It wasn't that great. It's not like he was supposed to be the best goalkeeper at AFCON and he wasn't. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm not really that convinced. He's footballing wise.
Because he left early. Oh, the AFCON you're on about. Okay.
AFCON, yeah.
I thought you meant World Cup.
And he left. Yeah, but he left. But at World Cup he left. But even at AFCON he wasn't that great. And that's like a little bit lower level. Like, so for me, with Onana, footballing wise, he will improve us and he will be much, much better. But I'm not overly excited for him coming to United. But he's a good goalkeeper. But it's not. Everyone is making him to seem like he's top 3 goalkeepers in the world.
I don't think everybody is. I think everybody.
Welcome to Guinea FC. We just talked about Maguire. We just talked about Maguire, right?
No,
we
no,
just
no.
talked about Maguire.
Compare.
Move
No,
for
hold
a
on
second.
minute. No, no,
Let
no.
me break it
No,
down.
we're not
Move for a second.
comparing. So you're comparing Maguire to Onana. You're comparing Maguire to Onana. This is how shameless you are, Nuruddin. Come on, man. Let's not do this. Maguire, for me, like I said to you, it was a centre back that was overpriced. We have not overpaid for Onana. We've actually underpaid when you look at it. 43 million is a steal. You would have paid 75 million for Costa. That's how much he was touted at Porto. So we've got a keeper who's in his prime, who knows what the manager wants, and for me has a well-rounded game and suits what we're trying to do. That for me, it should be enough for your start. I don't understand what more do you want, Nuruddin?
Okay.
What more do you want?
Are you finished? Are you finished?
No, I'm done. But yeah, go on.
You've done the Onana prop, right? Let me just say this, right? He's not my first choice. He's not my second choice. I believe there are two better goalkeepers than him in where Manchester United could have got, and that is Costa and Mannion at AC Milan. I believe they're better two goalkeepers all round. That's what I believe. It's my opinion. I'm happy.
Okay.
Come out and say if he has I genuinely hope and pray he has an amazing career at Manchester United.
Mbappe is better than Rashford.
Listen,
Mbappe is better than Rashford, right? Mbappe is better than Rashford. So can you go get Mbappe?
Nah, Costa is gettable. Mannion's gettable. I'm sorry, AC Milan sub players.
No, Mania is not gettable. Mania is.
Are you kidding me? They're not gettable.
He's the captain of AC Milan.
People want to come and play in the Premier League.
Milan. No, hold on a minute. You understand what privileges he's got at AC Milan? He's a captain over there. They love him over there. He loves AC Milan. This guy is set in stone in AC Milan, man.
Milan is unstable, though, yeah.
Tonali, listen, the way the ownership of AC Milan is, Tonali was their golden boy. They sold him for not even less than 50 million to Newcastle. Are you serious? AC Milan are a selling club. So is Inter Milan. I'm sorry, Saeed. Porto are a selling club. Porto are a selling club. Manchester United are a serious football club. They would have got Barella, they would have got Manny or Costa, they would have got Cassette.
What's realistic, though? You have to understand what's realistic.
No, about what realistic. I'm not here about what. Listen, looks like all of a sudden you're employed by Glazers and Murder and telling me about realistic.
No, hold on a minute.
I'm not here about being realistic. Don't tell me about what realistic. I'm talking about what is possible for Manchester United. Is it possible for Manchester United to go and sign players? Yes. Could Man United go and get the best of these players in their position? Yes.
Of course it is.
Is Diego Costa better goalkeeper than Onana? Yes.
No, I don't think he is. I don't think it's as clear as day.
That's an opinion.
Hold on a minute. Why are you going on like it's a fact? It's an opinion.
That's an opinion. Yeah, it's an opinion.
Why? How is Costa clear of Onana?
That's an opinion.
Have you got to show it? What date have you got to show it?
The best goalkeeper in Europe right at this moment, saving penalties. One of the most talented.
Saving penalties.
Listen, Portugal have always had decent goalkeepers. Pushed in at the front to be the number one for Portugal at an early age. He can only improve. The player that could be Manchester United for the next decade can only get better. That's Diego Costa. That's me. Mike Mannion. Brilliant goalkeeper. I would take him. Onana is third choice, in my opinion. He's third choice. That's what it is.
But he's not a bad signing.
I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not saying he's horrendous. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he's not my first choice or second choice. He's my third choice.
Yeah, but he's not a bad goalkeeper. But I don't understand the over.
There was zero hype about this guy, and you know what, Brian? That's the bit I don't believe. You know what? The level of hype, because one game, I promise you. Listen, one game in the final, because Pep Guardiola said, "Oh, this goalkeeper is something else." Like,
but Nuruddin, what you're doing is very, very unfair. You're using the fact that Onana has been overhyped for you to have a bad judgment on Onana. That's what I feel like you're doing.
No, I'm saying
you're just basically but what you're doing is you're doing the fact that people are overhyping it when I don't think people have done it. I just think people are happy we've got a new modern day keeper.
I'm with you. Yeah.
That and saying that we're overhyping him are two different things. And you're using that as a basis for your argument to say that Onana isn't great.
Let's be honest. People are
overhyping.
I'm already seeing conversations of him being top 3 goalkeepers in the Prem.
You're overhyping the keeper that's good on penalties. You're overhyping the keeper.
Not me.
You want to go to the stats? Do you want to go to the stats, Saeed? The best all-round keeper in Europe. Diego Costa. Diego
That's
Costa,
me.
mate.
I thought
That's
you were
Brian. That's Brian. That's
I
me.
see the
Like,
fifth.
okay, let's get into it. Go to my page and get the stats up. The best stats in the best stats, Costa is clear, mate. Clear.
Okay.
On stats.
Okay, what about the context of this season, though? What about if I said to you, Costa has got more errors leading to goals than Onana, does that
Goalkeepers
change your
make
opinion about?
mistakes. I'm talking about what the goalkeeper's got to offer.
So when Onana
Like the
makes, hold on
most.
a minute. So when
Listen to me.
Onana makes mistakes, it's a problem then. So
No,
how does
I
that
didn't
make
listen.
sense?
Listen, Saeed, I didn't say that. All I said is he's my third choice behind those two goalkeepers. That's what I've said. That is my opinion. And the stats,
I don't know, man.
actually the stats prove that Costa level, mate, level above. Sorry.
Listen, we're gonna get through some super
And,
chat
and
anyway.
I'm not a stats guy. And you know me, I'm not a stats guy.
Definitely Mason. Big up to Mason there. Big up to, he said Northern talks in capital letters. Said Owinski says Onana is grossly overrated. He says that unless he modifies his game and becomes prudent. What does prudent mean? Does anyone know what prudent means?
Prudent means that
I don't know.
not give away minutes. You know what? When you're prudent, you don't spend all your money all at once. So he's basically saying prudent means that he has to improve his errors. He has to iron out all errors and play the average.
Okay.
It says active with
basically
or showing
polish his
care
game.
and thought for the future.
Yeah.
So basically, polish his game. Basically, that's what we're trying to say. Okay, big up Owinski.
And
His
I hope he
flaws will be
does.
exposed.
I genuinely hope he does.
He won't be facing a 40-year-old Giroud. Listen, he faced Osimhen. He faced top strikers in the Italian league, man. Let's not do this, man. Owinski, man. Osimhen was Champions League final. Look what he did in the Champions League. He kept clean sheets after clean sheets. Come on, man. Sule says here, Nordin, I totally understand your fears. However, Onana will improve us on other aspects to a point. His little errors won't matter. E.g. Ramsdale. There you go. That's a good point there. That's a very good point. And that, for me, counteracts your argument about certain flaws. Certain flaws he might not see because then, you know what I mean, other players will kind of cover that, you know what I mean? And hopefully the Varans and of this world and Lisandro Martinez, they're already commanding anyway in terms of defensively. So now that they've got a player like this, a kind of keeper like this, it might help them. He faced Haaland, there you go. You know what I mean? So that's one of them. Big up to Real Zlatan says, can we talk about Onana made the most saves and most clean sheets in Champions League last season? We're going to ignore that. Exactly. Something that we didn't mention as well. So, you get me? It's one of them, man.
He had a good 6 months. He had a good 6 months. I never sign a player on a one-day performance or a half a season performance. I'm sorry. I do not.
So has he not been
consistent? I sign a player of longevity, consistency, and the feeling for potential to grow. Now, do I want that Onana signed, do I want him to become the best keeper in the world? Yes.
Of course you do. Yeah.
That's what I want. Yeah. That's what I want.
No, look at this though. Look at this though.
He's not my first choice or second choice. He was. If you gotta say my third, fourth choice, that's my opinion.
Yeah, but I get that. I get that. But you
put the snowflakes on Twitter are having meltdowns because of my opinion. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Why you say? He should be really your second choice because Mike Mania for me is unrealistic in that aspect.
Nah, I don't think so.
Me, you're kind of pushing it too much. But
AC Milan are a selling club, Saeed. AC Milan are a selling club.
No, they forced Tonali to leave. They didn't really want to sell him. They forced him to. Obviously, the money situation got a situation gone. This comment here, I don't really get. Harrison says, Saeed in 3 years he'll want Onana out. Watch, lol, man always overhypes. Nobody's overhyping Onana. How does it come from overhyping to being excited about a player who is a modern day goalkeeper and what the manager wants? You have to stipulate the two. You have to make sure that you separate the two, man. Like, I don't understand it. Like, obviously, it's like Mason Mount. Now, I'll give you an opposite to Mason Mount then. I don't rate Mason Mount, yeah, but I'm willing to understand his game and be patient and say, you know what, agenda aside. So I can flip it to you like that. So at the end of the day, yeah, it's all about learning as a fan, understanding, and that's how football is. You get humbled and then you understand, you know what, you were right. There's two sides of football. Is that either you were right or you've been humbled and fair enough, give credit to the player. That's how football is. So I don't think it's black and white, man.
Nah, true.
Big up to Smokey Settings says, Nuruddin, big up to you, but you always question every sign under the ownership. These Ten Hags, man, Nuruddin, they speak the same language. There you go, Nuruddin. You know what I mean? You need to stop questioning. You stop being negative and enjoy it.
Like,
Enjoy the
nah,
signing.
that's rattling. Man said this, they
No,
speak
but
the same language. Nah, man.
no. Listen,
That- that's
Listen,
it helps though. It helps though. It helps though.
let me say something. Onana speaks English. Majority of Manchester United players speak English. The ones who don't, they got tutors that will 24/7 teach them how to start to speak English, how to communicate with the players on the football pitch. So, Smokey, thank you for the super chat, bro. Love, but save me the same language, BS. I'm not signing a player because you speak the same language. I'm signing a player because you're the best in that position, or the manager thinks to get the best out of you. That's it. But I question every signing under the ownership. You're 100% right on that one, pal.
Yeah.
Because where has he got me in the past decade? Got me nowhere. So what are you talking
I
about?
don't, yeah. But you know what is though, man, and you know what it is, yeah. Like today, yeah, I said there was a tweet today saying that about Varane and his limitations, yeah, and I tweeted something that Varane's limitations are a concern for me, but it's not that I don't rate him, and it's not that I view anything differently of him. And then all of a sudden, I get everyone saying you've got an agenda out of him, and he's a new scapegoat, and I just thought to myself, like that argument there for Nuruddin, I think he's got his own argument. But if I say Varane has got limitation, does that mean I'm discrediting the player or I think badly of him? No, I'm just saying that he's got limitations. Like that's just a normal kind of judgment on a player. But all of a sudden today, Twitter, and this is why Twitter for me is just it's a cesspit in it because at the end of the day, people just don't understand. Yeah, it is loaded because people don't understand that I'm giving my opinion. I'm not just gonna give you what sounds popular just for the sake of it, so I can get more likes and retweets. Like majority of people on Twitter are doing nowadays. But I've just said Varane's ability to play out from the back and his overall progressive, the way he kind of progresses the ball at the back, I think sometimes can get a bit tricky for him. He's not very comfortable in that aspect. But what he is good at is leadership. His defensive line is always good. His what do you call it? In terms of recovery tackle, I think everything about his pace, his intelligence. I think there are so many compliments about Varane. But I do think there are limitations, and that's why I said.
And you know what? People don't want to see that. They're blind. They're like the bewildered herd. Bewildered herd,
That's what I'm saying.
That's what people are. I have an opinion, and honestly, everybody jumps down my throat on Twitter. I'm not lying to you. You know what Twitter has become? If you don't agree with the masses, get out of here. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, it's unbelievable what it is. And you know what? You know me, Saeed. Like, Brian, we've chatted. I 100%, you know, most of my opinions, I believe them solely. He knows me. I will never say things to get likes.
No. It's your opinion.
You say what you believe in it. But these days, it's not accepted to have a different opinion. That's the same thing with what we were talking about Onana, but even about Varane, I agree with what you said. But obviously, there's like the same thing with Onana. There's other sides to his game that makes him that warrants him being in the starting lineup. So. It's just these days you can't really have an opinion about a player, or everyone is just against you. So that's just how it is, isn't it? But we know that as well because we're in the line of jobs that we do. We're in the public eye, so you're gonna make statements, and not everyone's gonna agree to it.
It's not even that. Varane is very uncomfortable with the ball at his feet.
But you can see that because the way Man United build up as well, we're trying to hide him because he always has to step up into that right hand side half space. So that someone can drop in, someone can drop deep. So you've seen that this season that we're trying to hide his weaknesses in possession because he's always been skipped and he always goes to the right.
That's why for me we do need a player.
One of the best ball playing centre halves
in De Jong.
Yeah. But it's a balance thing though. But it's a balance thing as well.
Yeah. But we can still save it. We can still save this. We can still buy. Because I'm not gonna lie to you. I love Casemiro, but I think for me, is he press resistant? Is he, when he gets that ball outside the box? I'm not gonna lie to you. There is, but what do you mean? What are you doing that for?
You're so sorry. I don't know.
What, is he gonna say I told you so now? No, it's not about I told you so. It's just about learning someone's game. What's this guy doing, man? Like I don't understand this guy.
He's on you today. He's on you. He's on you. That is good.
It's not really on me. But what I'm trying to say though is there's a reason why the manager wanted De Jong first before Casemiro. Casemiro wasn't the first choice. De Jong was the first choice. And I'm saying what we have substituted from De Jong to Casemiro isn't like for like. Casemiro is in a different profile from De Jong. That's why for me, Amrabat makes sense. He's a player that can receive the ball in the first phase. He is. I do think for me, he's not De Jong. He's not De Jong. But I tell you what, yeah, he could do more things on the ball than Casemiro can. I think for me, there's a different way of playing with Amrabat in terms of that first phase. He can drive with that ball. He's a bit of a ball carrier as well. I think for me, we can get a lot out of Amrabat. And that's why I'm saying bring Amrabat in so we have a different way of playing. Should the manager do that? Should the manager in a game like Anfield, where you want to play the ball out from the back and Onana's got it, Amrabat can actually drive with the ball. That's why for me, go and get Amrabat. It's going to cost you 30 million, and I think we can do it. But will we do it? It depends on sales, innit? And that's where the kind of situation is going at. But I don't understand, Brian. Do you disagree with me there in the sense of you think
No,
Amrabat's different to what I'm saying?
nah, is a lot of people think that I don't like Amrabat, but the thing with me is I've seen him because most of these players I've seen them at AFCON, so I've watched AFCON a lot. I've seen him at AFCON. I
Afghan is
haven't.
not, you know what I mean? It's,
No,
it's
but I'm
good, yeah.
no, bro,
It's not high
but I'm not
tempo.
gonna, but I'm not gonna lie to people and say I've watched all the games of Fiorentina this season and he's the best player ever. From what I've seen, he's a good player, and I've said this as well because Cass trying to call me out. He's a good player, but I don't
What's
think
that
he's gonna
saying?
improve our squad. Because he's saying that I said he's a bad player. He's not a bad player. He's a good player, but I don't think he's going to improve our squad massively. I think he's someone that you can do a job as a backup player. But I would like for us to spend that money on maybe a better profile than Amrabat. But I'm not saying he's a bad player. I just don't like his traits that much. But that's just my opinion. Again, it's not because
Who can we get though? Who can we get?
that's
Because at
the
the end of
thing.
the
I
day,
don't know. That's
again, I hate the word realistic.
Yeah.
I hate the word realistic. And Nurdi, you're not gonna like this, yeah. But we have to be realistic. I don't think for me, I have to put Man United again, Nurdi. Again, this is what I'm trying to say to you. I want what you want, but I have to be realistic. We're not gonna go and get De Jong. That situation has maybe tailed off. You can have a dream. I want Harry Kane. I want Victor Osimhen. I want Caicedo. But is it gonna happen? No. So unless we find what situation is going on, we get Amrabat. It isn't a bad signing. And the way you're kind of looking down on it, Nordin, for me, I don't understand it. Like, it's someone that we can go and get.
Listen, Amrabat is a good player. Just like Brian said, he's a good player. He's done tremendously well for Morocco in the World Cup. I never signed players from World Cup form. I signed them on a day-to-day, how they are in their club, how they've been, how
He's a
they've
good player.
progressed.
I watch Italian league. He's a good player, man.
Yeah,
I
listen,
watch the Italian league. He's a good player.
yeah, and listen, that's the Italian league, and I wish him nothing but the best. If Manchester United had any ambition, Man City, our nearest and fucking closest rivals, have done a fucking treble, and we are fucking. Barella is available, Caicedo is available, and Manchester United are gonna go and run for Amrabat. Come on now. You've got to take this seriously. I can't take this club seriously. And I can't take people like you, Saeed, with your real... I don't care about the budget. I don't... Whose fault is it? Whose fault is it?
Again. I know that. Glazer's out. Hold on a minute. It's Glazer's out and the Glazers should be gone by now. And really and truly, we should have an unlimited budget. But you know more than anyone that Man United, when they're in the Champions League, spend less than when they do when they're out the Champions League. So then how are you saying right now, oh, Man United should be going to get Caicedo? That, for me, is a bit hypocritical.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
How is he not?
Back the manager.
How is he not?
Listen, they didn't back the manager in January. Back the manager. You said you were going to get him a striker. Now this manager's going to go. This manager's going to go away on a pre-season, 2 weeks with no striker.
And it's not good enough.
With no replacement. With no replacement. If
it's not good enough.
If Casemiro to get injured, with nobody to be able to come in and freshen it up. Everybody knew we needed 5 players to go straight into that starting lineup. This ain't happening. But you know what I'm doing? I'm not using words like realistic to be realistic about Man United.
Okay, no, what do you use? What do you use?
You know what I'm saying? Shambles. Fucking shambles. That's what I'm saying. Fucking
I've been
joke.
using that word.
Absolute
I've been using
joke.
that word. But after that, what do you do then? Okay. You've got a problem.
Amrabat in the squad. Is Amrabat better than McTominay and Fred? Yes.
Yes.
Brian's better than McTominay and Fred.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Give but hold on a minute. That's so low coming from you, Nordin. That's almost like saying when you get a player like Sean Longstaff or whoever, you can say they're better than whatever and but don't use Amrabat. Amrabat is you know what? He actually specializes in what he does. Like he can do his job very, very well. And he's done it on a world stage. So let's not give Amrabat that kind of description. I look at this situation right now is that we've got a problem, and I know what the problem is. But what can I do in a situation that is bad? You're not just going to sit there, Nuruddin, and cry and moan and whatnot. You've got to find the best possible solution, right? Yes or no? Find the best possible
I've been
solution.
doing it for a decade, mate. And but this way is going to continue for another fucking decade. I've been doing it for a decade, mate. That's all I know.
I know, but
We're
the
living
thing is,
on a prayer. Whoa, whoa. We're
Yep.
making us swear. Whoa, whoa. That's what we are. That's what we are.
Yep.
But you know what? I'm not going to use PR journalist Neil Ashton words and go, being realistic. No, I refuse. I refuse to be realistic.
It's not realistic. It's not
I
that, though.
refuse.
It's the reality.
I refuse. The reality is Manchester United are shambles again. Get another transfer.
Yeah.
Get another manager. Not being back.
Okay. Let me word it for you then. Man United are a shambles, yeah. That United can't go and get Caicedo. So what they're doing is they have to find a cheaper alternative and go and get Amrabat. Is that fair then, Nuruddin? Man United are a shambles, so they're going to get Amrabat instead of getting Caicedo. Does that make it better for you in terms of that word in there? Does that make it better? Because I've just said the same thing, but I've just worded it different to you. That's what I've done. It is though.
I'll say this, and I'll say it right.
Okay.
Manchester United. Would I want? Do I think Amrabat is good enough to be in Manchester United squad? Yes. Is he a good player? Yes. But Manchester United settling when the nearest, dearest, closest.
I hear that.
I've done the fucking treble, right? Manchester United to get back to be competing. You know, I personally don't believe Amrabat, Mason Mount. These players are going to take us, Onana. They're going to take us to go and compete.
Probably not.
Titles,
especially while the Glazers are here as well.
I wish they are. But even that, actually, I don't think Manchester United are that competent enough to do the Amrabat deal, Saeed. So use all this now, all this Amrabat prop. You might not even, because if Liverpool tomorrow decide to get him, they'll get him. They'll get him in 2 days.
So we've got to be quick. Yeah, you're right.
We're not going to be quick, though. The club is breathing. We have to do sales to get another midfielder. What does that mean when the club can't sell fuck all? They couldn't sell F all.
Yeah, no, that's where you're right.
Honestly, you know what? This club could not sell diamonds. You know, the top diamonds in the world could not sell any diamonds. Manchester United, you know what traded in the world is gold, diamonds, and coffee. Give the Manchester United board anything. They can't sell any of those. Even the most precious gems in the world, which are diamonds. Manchester United could not sell it. They'll find a way of effing it up.
Yeah, but that's just like saying United couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery. You know what I mean? So that's the same old saying, isn't it? Stephen here saying here, big up to you, my guy Stephen. If it weren't for high profile players, we would never have signed Jason Park. Amrabat improves our squad because it raises the levels as a whole. I agree, man. It's not always about big signings, and I think we've had lesser signings than Amrabat that have done well as well. So listen, 100%, man. Big Steve, by the way, he's been on you. Can I? I'm just going to read this super chat because he's been on Nuruddin for the past week, and he told me to kind of give you a message. So he's saying here, yes, Nuruddin, when was you on about burying files in the garden? Get to Old Trafford with your spade, mate, you cheat. Basically, it's on about the charges against. He's been waiting to kind of obviously get it in here. So yeah, basically, this is this message to you.
Can I just answer this, right? You know what that was? It was an error, right? Error in the way they were filling the forms. It was an error. Go and read it, mate. You got the cheek to call people cheats. You're run by the mafia, mate. You're run by a mafia, mate. Mafia. And then now I see your training kit is being sponsored by some alcohol company that've got less followers than Jimmy, who follows me from Greater Wales. Are you?
Why you got a new sponsor?
There are jokes that listen, you won the treble. Other than that night, not heard a word out of you lot, right? I say this, 115 charges, mate. 115 charges. There. Manchester United got done on a technicality. Big up Andy Tate. We got done on a technicality of filling in form error. That's what we got on, mate. Yeah. Oh my word, the bar is so low, innit? The bar is so. I wish Man United were cheating. We're not even clever enough to cheat, mate. We are dumber and dumber and dumber. That's who Manchester United are.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. Guys, 1.2K in here, man. I don't know how many likes we got on here. Let me just check quickly, man, because we should be at least 500 by now. We're currently on 355. You know what I mean? I think we got the Glazers in the chat,
Oh
mate.
my
I think.
God. Oh my God.
What is
Honestly, I'm
that
not
like
lying to you.
ratio?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think Neil Ashton sends his bots on here, you know. I'm not lying to you. They're all fan
Yeah,
of the Glazer ownership and Neil Ashton. All the Neil
yeah,
Ashtons are here.
yeah, yeah. It comes on you, look, you stood outside. Listen, man, don't worry, man. Listen, we're Glazers out, man. We're trying to get the
No, we didn't.
Qataris
And you
in,
know
man.
what?
That's
We didn't want Ronaldo. Most of us who knew, no, we didn't want Ronaldo. We were asking for
yeah.
midfield players. If you know, you know.
Yeah, I remember it was Tushemeni, I think we wanted to. So listen, man, it is what it is, man. But moving on anyway, moving on.
Wait,
Rashford,
I heard a comment. Somebody said, Nuruddin wants Casado only after a season. No, 2 seasons, mate. Get it right. 2 seasons, mate.
He was
All
he
right?
was
yeah,
he was
All right,
he was
hold tight.
lovely. He was lovely in Belgium as well when he was here. I was
yeah,
surprised actually. I
yeah,
was actually surprised that he stepped up that much because he was playing for the
yeah.
worst team in Belgium and then just started coming to the Premier League and tear everything up. So that's big credit to him. But just before we move on, Saeed, there's
Yeah,
last
go
little
for
thing
it,
I
go
want
for
to
it.
ask because we're always talking about we want players in certain positions and at the same time we want youth players to come through. But then we've been talking about Maino, we've been talking about Iqbal. Iqbal has already left to Utrecht. Now we've got Maino here. Why is it that when we go to other clubs, let's say a Barcelona, when they had Pedri, obviously Pedri was bought, but they had younger players coming through. Why are we not? And I'm not saying we have to do that every position, but why are we not trying these players out and giving them more of a chance? Because we don't know how a player adapts to the Premier League. We don't know how what type of impact we'll have into the squad. Yeah, maybe the preseason hasn't been that great, but we didn't even know about Garnacho before he played his first game
Yeah,
in the season. So for me, Amrabat is a good player. You add something, but why not take a chance with maybe Maino this season as a backup DM or as a third choice DM, and then maybe spend more money in the striker's position or spend more money at other position. That's for me because we always
okay,
want
so what you're
we want
trying to
two
say
things at the
is,
same time. We want to add more squad players, but we want youth players to
okay,
come
let me
through.
ask you a question then.
Yeah,
We have that money. We have Kobe Mino as a DM backup to Casemiro, but we go and get Harry Kane. Are you taking that?
yeah.
Okay.
But
So
that's
basically
me,
that's
innit?
what you're
Yeah,
trying to say.
Let
that's
me
Oh,
break
no,
it
but
no,
down.
that's fair
Let
yeah,
me
shout.
but
break it
yeah,
down for
basically,
Brian.
yeah,
Let me
basically.
break it down for
Yeah,
Brian. Brian,
go on.
if Manchester United were the league title winning teams,
Mhm.
I agree with you. If Manchester United were the league title winners, where there was confidence in the football structure, in the football base, the football education that youngsters getting, the club was stable, right? Then what you do is when you got a young player, you got all the stability around him. You've got
Yeah,
absolute ballers all over the pitch that can help him in games, right? People talk about and say, "Oh, we won the league with kids." When the Nevilles, when the 92 came through. No, we had 6 captains in that team.
mhm.
6 captains in that team. Point I want to make is this. When your club is stable, when your club is competing at a high level, and there is a way for you to help that youngster to bring him in certain games, take him out in the other games, you can do that. Putting all of the pressure on a young player, knowing our fan base, knowing
Yeah,
what happens. Garnacho had one bad game, and I
Mhm.
think he lost the ball, and
Yeah,
it led to a goal we
yeah, yeah, yeah,
conceded.
yeah, yeah. Of
The
course.
kid was trending on Twitter for 2 days.
I
So
know,
I'm sorry.
but
I say this:
go on.
we need Manchester United to be more stable
Mhm.
for that to happen. Manchester United are not a stable football club, and
But then
I'm
No.
sorry, the manager does not have a lot of that credit in the bank for him to do that. And actually, Manu's not ready yet. He's not ready.
No.
This season will be a breakout season for him. Bring the other guy, bring him in, and then break him in easy.
But then
But
you
to
have a
put the pressure on him, I'm
but
sorry, it's a bit too much. And Garnacho, you asked about Garnacho. Me and Saeed knew Garnacho was ready.
yeah, I know from
100%.
yeah from the youth
We
teams.
yeah,
But that's what. But
Garnacho was doing bits. Yes, the jump between the youth team to the
yeah,
strike is a jump. I get you that. To the first team, it's a jump. But Garnacho, he's got that minerals. He's that
yeah.
type of player.
Mm.
Listen, I know
And
his
also
dad,
he's a
my
forward,
man.
Nuruddin.
You
He's
know,
a
Mike. I
forward as
know his
well,
dad,
Nuruddin.
Mike. Big up, Mike. Yeah, I call him the
Oh,
stockpot ince. You know what? I stopped talking about him. Do you know why, Brian? Because I feel like I was doing the same in the Greenwood, and I put the kiss of death on it. I'm superstitious like that, so
Yeah.
I've stopped talking about him. But do I see this season? Do I want the kid not to have so much pressure and come in gently and slowly? Yes, because
mm.
that part of the pitch is very crucial part.
one more thing, yeah.
of the game.
Last thing, Said. Sorry, last thing. But
No, go for it.
If you get Amrabat this season and then you're gonna create a problem for next season when you've got Casemiro there, Amrabat's used to get minutes. Then you want to figure ways to play Maino, and the same thing that we've seen this season with Barcelona playing younger players. We've seen it this season with Arsenal because we can talk about their players, but Saka is only like 19 or 20 years old. He comes from the youth academy. Martinelli is very young. They have a very young squad, and they somehow found a way for these players to get minutes and improve.
Midfield though is precious though.
I know. It's crucial. It's crucial.
It's very precious.
How is he? Either then he has to get a loan this season again.
No, he could be part of the squad. He could be, for me, he could be part of the squad. Because I think he will improve. Because at the end of the day, there's a certain level of integrating him into a team, and this is where Ten Hag needs to be very, very bold. With these Carabao Cups here, you play him alongside Amrabat. You play him alongside him. So when you have these Carabao Cups in the early rounds against Charlton and them teams like that, play him. But for me, that's where Ten Hag went wrong last season. He didn't play the relevant players I thought was going to get a chance in them areas. But he then has to think about he wants to win. So it's a case of we either want to win or we want to give opportunities. There has to be a balance. Guardiola, to be fair to him, finds that balance. He brought Rico Lewis in. He brought Cole Palmer through like that. He brought there was a couple of players.
What's the difference, Saeed? What's the difference, though? The difference that they're winning for the biggest trophies, and you can afford to do that when you've got all the other positions sorted on the football pitch, certified winners and ballers all over the pitch. Manchester United don't have that. Our squad is too unbalanced to be thrown in the air. Because you know what, Brian, I'm at the same mentality.
I disagree with you.
But then I thought about it. You know what?
Yeah. I disagree with you, Nuruddin. You can create that balance, though. And I think for me, it's just about trusting your players as well. I don't know if Ten Hag fully trusts everyone in the team, but there can be a balance. I'm not saying that our squad is superb, but if you're going to trust these players, these young players, to come through, I get it, we're not Man City and we can't do it. They don't have a massively bloated squad, by the way. This myth that Man City have got a bloated squad is a bit of a myth. But what they do, though, is that they actually spread the kind of load in the team well. So one day you'll see Phil Foden play for 5 games, and then you'll see Mahrez play for 5 games. You've got to be able to kind of do that. But obviously, Ten Hag has a methodical way of playing. He is just saying, Anthony, you are my right winger for the season, and you're staying there. Rashford, you're the left winger for the season. You're staying there. They're not really interchangeable. Like if you look at Pellistri, didn't really get enough minutes. So I don't think he's going to do that unless, like I said to you, Carabao Cup, you do that. But Brian, he hasn't done that. He hasn't played anyone.
I know.
In terms of, he hasn't done it.
But that's why I'm afraid if we get Amrabat, then these type of players will get even less minutes than they had before. That's why I'm a bit skeptical. And people are saying in the chat, like, what's wrong with having a fully with a squad depth in quality?
Oh,
because
this one, yeah.
We can't sell players anyways. So that's another problem that you create. Why can't we sell the players that we have right now? It's because either they don't play enough or they're not good enough. So for me, I'd rather have a little bit of a smaller squad that's stronger than just maximum and make the squad bigger and bigger and bigger for no purpose. Because that's why we have so many fringe players who are too hard to sell or either don't want to leave the club.
Yeah, 100%. No, I hear you. I fully hear you on that point, man. Smoky Settings, big up to you, my guys. Next season, Eric Ten Hag will be more flexible with Ahmad, Mino, and bleed them in. It'll start with preseason. Remember, there's going to be injuries. Yeah, 100%. I think Ahmad's got to stay. If Ahmad Diallo goes out alone, and then, you know what I mean, we don't have that different variety in our play. Like, I think Ahmad can bring us something different. Like, in tight spaces, he could just score outside the box. These guys are afraid to shoot, man. Sancho, Anthony, these guys, I don't know what is wrong with them sometimes. They sometimes are a bit tentative in terms of when to shoot. You know what I mean? It's a lot of ball hogging, a lot of possession based first. You have something different with Amad Diallo. Same way with Garnacho. Garnacho is something different because he takes people on, and then when he has a time to shoot, he shoots. So I think for me, it's about just bleeding everything into it, man. And that's just a reality situation, man. Rashford signed a new contract. Apparently, he's earning 325 grand a week, which isn't not too bad considering what I heard at first, which is 375 grand a week. But it is a situation. I don't know if it's confirmed, but it came from the Times, so we'll have to see whether that's true or not. But Rashford signed a new deal. Everyone happy with that one? Nuruddin, you happy with that one? You know what I mean? Everything all good with that one? Wage, happy with that?
Listen, at the end of the day, unless you're his bank manager, innit, nobody truly knows like how much he's
Yeah.
getting. At the end of the day, everybody gets paid in Manchester United. So might as well get paid, mate. He's the reason why Manchester United in the Champions League. Without his goals
Well,
last
there you go.
season.
You're
That's how
spot
it is.
on.
And at
Spot
the
on.
end of the day, those people who are pocket watching him, then at least he's been there and he's come through. Is he a world beater? No. Is he what Manchester United deserve right now? Yeah, he is. He is. He's effective in the way he plays. Should we go and get a player and used to not overplay him next season? For me, Eric Ten Hag, big questions next season. He's not getting all of the stuff that me biting my lip. Me and others who know who you are, people, will be biting our lip. I want to see squad rotation, mate. I'm sorry. You should have enough to develop this team. So by January, I'm expecting the team to be to have different combinations of players to be able to play and rest players,
I agree.
and not to burn them out.
I agree.
That's what it is for me. It's simple. But in terms of Rashford, I suppose he was getting, PSG are there, and the people have played a blinder. For those people coming on, I didn't say Amrabat is bad. I just said Casado's better. And I've been saying that Barella's better.
I agree with you.
Barella got voted the best midfield player in Italy last season. We should go and get that guy. That's what I said.
I agree.
I'm not saying that Amrabat is horrendous. I didn't say that. I said Manchester United are that incompetent. Watch even them lose out to Amrabat. I'm sorry to say. But in terms of Rashford, at the end of the day, he more, but it breaks me that how that is a breaking news and that's news. Like extending a player's contract, like we sign a new player. It's ridiculous. Modern clubs,
you know why it is breaking news? Because it's a franchise player. It's our franchise player. It's the wages as well. People are saying about the tread carefully says here, that what happened to the 200 wage cut. I don't think that was even ever remotely true. Listen, man, the players still control. They're the players are always the asset, so they will always be in control, regardless of who his manager is, man. End of the day, he's been performing, he's been scoring goals. Ten Hag has got no say, man, in what a player should be earning. Let's be really honest with you, man, because at the end of the day, he's been performing. So let's not kid ourselves, man. Has he taken advantage of the situation? Of course. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's performing. Has he gone above Sancho? That's a good thing as well, because he hasn't gone above Sancho, which means Sancho should probably have not got 350 grand a week to start with. So maybe that's why Man United said maybe that's the budget we're going to go at, and we're not going above Sancho. So you're basically not getting above Sancho. So that at least then they've kind of been a bit reasonable in that aspect. So it is what it is. And then that's it really. And then obviously Bruno Fernandes rejected approaches from Saudi Arabia. I don't know. I just somehow just don't believe this, man. I know it's come from Fabrizio Romano or whatnot, but I think for me, like, he's United through and through, man. He's going to stay here, you know what I mean, and whatnot. But again, there's going to be so much kind of, links with everyone, man. Saudi Arabia are moving mad, and fair play to them, man. They want everyone. So it is what it is, man. But that's been your podcast, people. Straightjacket podcast. Been a bit of a heated one, but that's what happens on the Straightjacket podcast. So anyone that was, wearing headphones, you know what I mean, make sure you lower them next time because, we're all active in this podcast. But this is the only podcast, people. Honestly, online, you're going to get where people debate each other properly. Like, we don't just kind of just take everyone's opinion and we don't sit on the fence on this podcast. So if you're here and you want in a lot of positive, you know what I mean? We balance it, but it's a debate. It's a Straightjacket podcast, Straightjacket talk. So we've been here for 4 years and, we've been doing well. So, we're not going to change for anyone. So big up to everybody who's been locked in. Make sure you do like the video, people. I know you've been watching for long, for an hour, but please do like the video. We're going to be headed over to United Real Therapy, Nuruddin and hopefully Tom as well. But big up to you, Nuruddin, for jumping on, man.
Listen, big up. Listen, smash a like on the video, people. Stop being prudent. You're a bit prudent when it comes to Straightjacket podcast, people.
Yeah, that's the word, mate. That's my word I'm taking away.
Listen,
big up Owinski. Prudent.
Yeah, Owinski, prudent.
If you were as active as you are in the comments with the likes, then this podcast will be getting numbers. So make sure you just give the likes because it boosts the algorithms. So he's hardworking, mate. One of the most hardworking YouTubers out in the game, bro. Like, just smash a like on the video. Get him to 100K. Let's go, people. Let's go.
Big up to you, man.
And join us. Listen, join us for the Straightjacket pod. Sorry, join us for the Raw, Red, Real podcast. Yeah, it's raw, it's red, and it's real. Right? Join us because we're going to be talking about the 3 M's, mate. David Moyes,
Yeah.
Maguire, and McTominay. Match made in
Match
heaven.
made in
Let's
heaven.
be having your therapy army. Let's be having you.
Let's be having you. Brian, it's been a pleasure, man. Let them know where they can find you, man.
Same thing in it. Where's it again? I forgot my own YouTube channel name. BSD20 UK, I think. That's my English channel. I'm gonna promote or drop more English videos. Because I've been doing a lot of Dutch videos. But on the last thing I want to say, people that complain about podcasters shouting or having debates. If you want a boring podcast, then don't listen to podcasts. I think when I have a conversation with my mates, yeah, we tend to get over emotional in discussions, and that's just natural, and that's I enjoy it. So I think you should join as well. Like I like it more when we have a discussion and it's more back and forth, and it's
Yeah,
more trying to convince someone else of an opinion. So for me, that's better. But thank you for
absolutely.
having me on again. Next time I'll see you in Manchester, and yeah, man, just make sure you follow the channel as well. Innit?
There you go, people. Brian channel right there, man. BSD20, man. Make sure you follow that. I'll be back tomorrow, people, for more content. So yeah, man, head over to United Real Therapy. We'll see you soon, guys. Take care. Bye bye and peace.